She did it. And people thought it could have been a joke.
Yeah, she drank the milk. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Did she do it in response to it? Or did she do it?
No, I think she did. I think that's just something she did.
Okay, yeah. She said it in an interview, but I don't know if she just was joking, just made a joke, and then when they realized, wait, we can get her to drink some milk, people will like it, and then made her do the photo after that. But I'll operate off the current knowledge, which is she probably did it.
It's a good movie. I liked the movie.
I've heard it's good.
It's good. It's good.
I'll probably be seeing it Friday or something.
Okay, yeah. I want to see it again because now I'm rewatching the. I just rewatched Batman Begins, and then probably when you leave, I'm gonna rewatch The Dark Knight, and then now I wanna watch again. It's long. It's very long. The Batman. I don't know.
3.5 hours or something like that?
No, it's 2 hours 50 something minutes. It's almost 3 hours.
Oh, okay. I can watch it.
I don't know if it's necessary for it to be that long.
Some bits happen where it's kind of just doesn't.
It never felt like there was never any part of the movie where I was like, this should be cut out. Except for one scene, which I thought was terrible. CW level terrible. You'll know it when you watch it. But other than that one scene, I was like, I don't know if anything needs to be cut from here. And I'll say this is the first Batman movie where I've actually felt that he was an actual hero by the end of the movie. Where I was like, oh, that dude is about it. He's about that hero life. All the other ones, I'm like. Yeah, I mean, you're a hero, you're saving people, but it's kind of it doesn't feel that way. It all feels very internal.
Mm-hmm.
In The Dark Knight, it's just he's just saving Rachel again and again and again, and then in the other ones, he's doing whatever he's doing in the other ones.
Trying to stop Bane.
He is trying to stop Bane.
Yeah,
and Mr. Freeze. I want Mr. Freeze in the next one.
Why? Because I guess he's a good villain.
He would be a good villain, but I think there are circumstances that Gotham, the city, is left in by the end of the movie, which I won't spoil. But there are circumstances which make the next movie prime real estate for a villain like Freeze to be in there. Both circumstantial and where the Batman is emotionally. I think just conceptually, the idea of Mr. Freeze would be really cool.
Is this connected to the DC movies? No. Or they kind of what are the? I don't even know what they're doing with that.
Yeah, they just kind of do whatever they want to do now. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Kind of here for it. I kind of like that.
Yeah, the extended universe thing didn't pan out.
It did
the way they wanted.
Didn't work. Didn't work for them. But speaking of not panning out the way we wanted to, Connor, what's poppin', players? Welcome back to the Two Penny Gamescast. I am your host, Tavin Bothel, here with my good friend and co-host Connor Elliott. Say hello to the people, Connor.
Howdy.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, you can get this show every Monday, 8 a.m. Central Time, youtube.com/2pennygamescast, or mainstream podcast services of your choice, such as Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. You can't get us on Bandcamp, though. Probably for good reason. Now, anyways, and if you didn't know, me and Connor come to you every week with two topics, 2 pennies, if you will, and we give you our 2 cents on them. Those topics generally concerning the video game industry. And this week, Connor, there wasn't a lot of news.
A lot of what would usually be filler for this show when we cover all the big topics. It's just kind of all filler.
We were reaching even for the fillers outside of this first story here.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, first story, which is going to be my first penny of the day. Epic Games is acquiring music platform Bandcamp. Bandcamp. This is I'm pulling a Verge article by Addie Robertson. Epic Games is acquiring independent music storefront Bandcamp. The companies announced the news today, saying that Bandcamp would, quote, keep operating as a standalone marketplace and music community, but use Epic's resources to expand internationally and continue adding new features. An Epic blog post says Bandcamp will play, quote, an important role in Epic's vision to build out a creator marketplace ecosystem for content, technology, games, art, music, and more. An announcement from Bandcamp co-founder and CEO Ethan Diamond, meanwhile, emphasized that the core deal for artists won't change in the near future. Quote, the products and services you depend on aren't going anywhere. We'll continue to build Bandcamp around our artist-first revenue model, Diamond wrote. You'll still have the same control over how you offer your music. Bandcamp Fridays will continue as planned, and the Daily will keep highlighting the diverse, amazing music on the site. But Diamond says Epic and Bandcamp will work together behind the scenes to push development on merchandising and payment options, mobile apps, and live streaming, among other features. Epic is primarily known as the publisher of Fortnite and the creator. Okay, yeah, we all know who Epic Games is. Connor, long ago, reach far back in your memory, I believe the first time you had COVID and we had to do the show remotely, or maybe it was me. I don't remember. We covered a story where Epic acquired a technology company. It wasn't. Now I gotta look.
It wasn't Bandcamp.
No, Bandcamp is a music thing that just happened, sir. I'm talking like 9 months ago. This happened. We had a whole conversation. And it was going into the Discord's gonna take too long. I'm pulling up the YouTube. And it was a technology company in which I forget the name of the company now, but I remember saying, I'm like, oh, this is Epic reaching out into a different space for a very specific reason.
I think I remember you saying that, like, kind of that line, that line along some different parameters. I don't know.
Quiet on set. Okay. No, but it was for the idea that they are, they're not looking to just be games. Like they're looking to do more than just games, and I think that's what they're reaching for here. Now, granted, what does this mean specifically for Bandcamp? Here we go. Two Penny Gamescast, episode 25. Epic just quietly changed the game. Here we go. Let me find
Rad.
There it is.
Yeah.
Rad. Yes.
Kirkland's Rad Game Tools.
Yeah, it was more based on tech than it was like actual development and so forth. And this, I think, reaches to that same idea where Epic is really trying to branch out and be more than just like a Steam and just publish games. They're looking to be more than just the Fortnite guys. They're looking to be more, I think, versatile and more sort of. They're looking to reach out and really provide tools. Probably for game devs, but maybe just technology in general to really, kick down doors and open up the market in a lot of different ways from a creator's point of view. Now, with this thing, I could see, now we could get licensed music from maybe some lesser known artists and give them all shine and so forth. Why am I getting so much feedback in my headphones? That's weird. Anyways, but, where you could see in games a lot of, music creators, branching out and being able to get their music into different video games and so forth to kind of do that, or maybe like just some like short film type stuff, because Epic does play around in that field as well. I think Epic does something with Lucasfilm, I want to say. I'm trying to remember, because I know shows like The Mandalorian use Unreal Engine, which Epic owns that engine. Yes? No? Am I wrong? I forget. Google that for me.
Yeah.
So we could really see something like really interesting grow out of this, where, maybe, just kind of, what is the rising tide raises all ships, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So like we could see, less, I don't know, your Eminems or your Katy Perrys or so on and so forth, and now we can get, I don't know, Joe Schmo, who's just trying to make a buck making electronic beats, and it just happens to happen or just happens to work for some random game dev studio that is heavily inspired by Hotline Miami or something. You know what I mean? Like, we could really see some crossovers going on here and so forth. Interesting stuff. Other than that, I don't see too many, wide-reaching effects coming from this. If I were a Bandcamp creator, I would be concerned, but you should be concerned anytime the platform you're creating on has management changes like this. So
yeah. I don't know if obviously this is something that's not really directed at improving the games for the gamers. It's more developer focused, but we'll see the kind of effects this decision will have.
Well, I mean, it could just creator focused in general.
Yeah,
who knows? I mean, maybe like Fortnite now implements, a weekly jams playlist where like the top 20 independent artists on Bandcamp are thrown into a playlist and you can listen to them while you're playing Fortnite or something. I don't know.
Sounds like something Fortnite would do.
Right? Doesn't it?
Yeah.
So like, this could be cool. It likely will lead to very little, and it's probably just another revenue stream for Epic Games. But if they have a lot of opportunity here to really branch out and do some really cool stuff. But we'll see. Music is complicated.
Yeah.
Speaking of complicated, Connor, let's move on to the story number 2, your first penny of the day. Activision Blizzard and Epic Games pause game sales in Russia. This is an Engadget article by Bonifaciuk. I'm sorry, I'm mispronouncing your name, buddy. Igor Bonifacius?
We're not Russian.
I'm sorry, bro. Activision Blizzard and Epic Games have joined a growing list of publishers suspending sales of their games in Russia due to the country's ongoing invasion of Ukraine. In an employee letter it shared directly on Friday, Activision President and Chief Operating Officer Daniel Alagar said the company would pause selling its games to Russian consumers. It will also temporarily stop offering in-game microtransactions to those same customers. Quote, Epic is stopping commerce with Russia in our games in response to its invasion of Ukraine. We're not blocking access for the same reason other communication tools remain online. The free world should keep all lines of dialogue open. One day after Activision's announcement, Epic Games said it, too, was halting transactions within the country. Epic, quote, Epic is stopping commerce with Russia and in our games in response to its invasion of Ukraine, the company said. We're not blocking access for the same reason other... Okay, I just read that. It's unclear if Epic's decision includes both its own titles and any in-game microtransactions it offers in Fortnite. What's more, notably, neither Activision nor Epic mentioned Belarus in their respective announcements. In halting sales to Russia, Activision and Epic joined companies like Microsoft, Electronic Arts, and CD Projekt Red. Russia isn't a small market either. According to a 2021 estimate from Statista, the country, with approximately $2.7 billion in industry revenue that year, was the 8th largest market for video games.
So this is an ongoing thing, not just in the gaming world, but generally it's been affecting the economy because companies have begun pulling out of Russia, trying to deter them from going forward with invading Ukraine. Now, the general spirit of it, I get it. I get what they're trying to do.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Putin stepped out of line, so now it's time to hurt his pockets.
Yeah.
You're seeing this worldwide, not just in games or whatever, but like everyone is saying, all right, bro, we don't like nobody's on board with this. Your own people aren't on board with this, so we're going to halt your economy, and you can't afford this little bullshit war that you're trying to do.
For some companies, that actually is effective. That's not an entirely opposable idea. But certain companies pulling out do nothing other than just, sure, it might hurt the economy a bit, definitely. But primarily, the people that's going to be affecting are normal Russians who, like you just said, a lot of them don't support the war. And as we see time go forward, especially as a result of reactions like this, they're going to like the war even less. But the end result is going to be that the main thing that this is doing is screwing over those regular consumers. Because the reality is, Putin doesn't care about this kind of stuff. Oh, it hurts them?
Yeah.
By blocking them from using their services.
Okay, so they can't get a new Fortnite skin.
Yeah. It doesn't really...
For 6 months.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It doesn't really... Exactly.
I'm sorry, but like I disagree with you here.
Oh, okay.
I think this has a bigger effect on Russia's markets, which directly influence Putin's behavior way more than it hurts your everyday consumer. Now, it does hurt them because it'll likely send Russia into an economic depression, which is unfortunate and does suck, and I wish there was a better way around this. But it's also, it's a faster way of stopping this invasion or halting this invasion and allowing civilians to not get bombed left and right. The simple fact of the matter is like everyone who puts a pause on their economics hurts that war effort. They can't afford to continue their war efforts, if their market full stops. You see what I'm saying?
No,
So,
I totally get what you're saying.
Even though things like Epic Games and Electronic Arts are minimal, I mean, $2.7 billion is nothing to like shrug at, but at the same time, in the worldwide market, it's not like the biggest number in the world. But at the same time, Like, it's just death of a thousand cuts. Like, okay, this guy dropped out, this guy dropped out, this guy dropped out, this guy dropped out. Suddenly, $2.7 billion. If you add that to the rest, you're talking hundreds of billions of dollars.
Fair enough.
You know, and it just it is the best these outside entities can do to support Ukraine and support people who do not support the war.
Yeah, fair enough. I just don't see that game companies specifically will really make a dent in that at all. Which is why I was referencing to certain industries being a lot more efficient at screwing over an economy rather than video game companies.
Yeah, sure. Some things hurt more. You know, the automotive industry is going to hurt more. But, like, you know, if you know, someone shoots you with a gun, but then I come through and slit your wrist, like, you're still going to bleed out. You're going to do it a lot faster now. Yeah. You know? That was a very violent I don't know where that came from.
Video games to slitting people's wrists. Where is that the argue going?
They go hand in hand. Hand in hand.
I wouldn't say they go hand in hand. I think he's a little harsh.
Connor, boy oh boy. This next story confuses me. So, topic number 3, your second penny of the day. New Star Wars game reportedly delayed until 2027. This is from website The Direct by Sam Hargrave. And I'm just going to jump ahead here. Quantic Dream revealed its action-adventure Eclipse title during the 2021 Game Awards ceremony with a cinematic trailer featuring Coruscant, Yoda, galactic space battles, and 2 lightsaber-wielding Jedi. Despite having already revealed its first trailer, Eclipse was always reportedly still years away from release, but a recent report has indicated that it may be even further away than once thought. According to an exclusive report from X-Fire's Tom Henderson, Quantic Dream's High Republic set Star Wars Eclipse is expected to release in 2027 or 2028 due to difficulties hiring staff for the next-gen project. Back in December 2021, Quantic Dream had over 60 job openings available at the French studio, which remains the case today with 67 vacancies currently listed on its site. The news comes after years of accusations of sexual harassment and toxic workplace culture pointed towards the French studio. Following the report release delay, hashtag Blackout Star Wars Eclipse began trending on Twitter in response to the controversy surrounding the studio. Given that Eclipse doesn't appear set to release for at least another 5 years, it's unclear why Quantic Dream opted to drop the first cinematic trailer so early. Perhaps the decision was made less to drum up fan excitement, but more to intrigue developers into joining the team with the promise of working on a Star Wars game. Regardless of this unfortunate development for Eclipse, the future remains bright for Star Wars gamers. And then they go on to talk about all the other Star Wars games that are currently in development from other studios. Man, yeah, this is confusing. Why? And I'm kind of on the same page here as Sam. Why announce that you're making this game so many years prior to you don't have the staff for it? Other than to maybe say, hey, game makers, you guys are all nerds, right? You want to come make a Star Wars? You nerds like a Star Wars, don't you?
And that makes sense to try and draw in that kind of stuff because, you know, usually we don't actually think about pulling in, you know, potential employees. We usually think about how gamers think about that kind of news. Mm-hmm. But they did make a pretty big trailer, a very great trailer.
It was a good trailer.
Really, really good.
It was good.
But it seems kind of over the top for trying to get attention for employees.
Yeah.
Especially because it's not really working because they're having to delay it as a result.
You and I watched the Game Awards together, as we usually do. Mm-hmm. And I remember just that trailer hitting and me not, me being the big Star Wars fan of the two of us, me not 100% knowing if it was Star Wars or not until I don't remember if it was the lightsabers or Yoda that popped up first, where I was like, is this Star Wars? This feels like Star Wars. I think this is Star Wars.
Yeah.
And then just that tone and the way it was crafted and like, sort of like,
showing elements you usually don't see
just
in a
like
Star Wars film.
The atmosphere that it was leaning into. That you're right, you don't see much in Star Wars, and that it was it was clearly like some like pre Clone Wars era type stuff. Was really exciting for me, and then I just remember all of that excitement bottoming out when it was like Quantic Dream at the end of the trailer, and I think that was the general vibe of everybody, where we're like, this is a really cool trailer. Ah, fuck these guys, you know.
You know what the instant you see Quantic Dream, you know what kind of game they're going to make. They're going to make the game that they've been making for ever since Heavy Rain. Or what was the game before that? It was Fahrenheit something?
No. Heavy Rain Beyond Two Souls, and then Detroit Become Human.
Yeah, I think there was like this popular game that they made similar, kind of similar to that, at the beginnings of those kinds of games back in like early 2000s or something like that. I can't remember the game. Yeah.
Heavy Rain is the one that put them on the map.
Yeah, it is what made them famous, and since then they followed that formula. So
which I don't hate those types of games. I actually really, really enjoy them.
It's just the writing.
The writing's pretty atrocious.
Not the best. Yeah. It has potential, maybe without David Cage.
Yeah.
Maybe, who knows? Maybe in a couple years.
The problem is that David Cage is there.
Yeah.
But
hey, if it's not coming out until 2027 at the least, well, maybe he'll leave.
Then I can't even begin to even start caring about this game. And if I were to guess, we'll see if it even comes out.
Yeah.
Which sucks. I hope the people who are working there, I assume they're good. There's good people there who are working hard and just trying to tell really cool and interesting stories. Which I think Quantic Dream, though they don't do it the best, they are sort of the one of the front runners in cinematic storytelling in video games. They're far from the best at it, but they are the ones who tackle what it means to tell a story in an interactive medium the hardest. Like they're the ones who like lean furthest away from being a game, but like in that like they still allow so much narrative agency with their gamers, as opposed to like, I don't know, like a Naughty Dog, like they're known for their storytelling and their great stories and all that, but like their stories are pretty set in stone, and you don't have a lot of agency within that story, or like I always think of like Hideo Kojima in MGS3, like the sorrow boss encounter changes dependent upon your actions as a gamer in the game, which was always really cool to me. And Quantic Dream kind of plays into that. They give you a lot of choice, a lot of narrative options and so forth. It's just, that's not like the deepest of mechanics or anything, that a lot of people reach for video games for. No jumping, no shooting, no, any of that.
A lot of the stuff that you do in Quantic Dreams, the next game that they're going to make is going to play similar in many ways, at least in those gameplay functions.
But it's just unfortunate that leadership there is just not what it should be or needs to be, and it's really a shame. So much so that like I know the French government was stepping in a few years ago and was like, "Yo, what the fuck are y'all doing over here? Y'all fucking like almost like to the point like it was like sort of like an early days idea of what's happening with the Activision Blizzard situation now, where like they were just looking in and going, "Yo, y'all are kind of fucking up over there. What's going on over here?" Obviously, nothing really came for it, but when you garner that reputation, clearly it's a failing business model. Nobody wants to work for you anymore because they know you're an asshole and you mistreat your employees.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise. That's a failing business model.
Well, if there's a good note to take away from this, and even though I can't remember the exact details off the top of my head, I feel stupid for not remembering them. Always remember, though, that David Cage cried in the middle of a courtroom, audibly, in front of a judge. Always remember that. So if you ever have any issue with Quantic Dreams, just remember that. Yeah.
Okay. Good note. Good note. Connor, let's move on to our final topic of the day. My final penny. I didn't get my time code didn't keep. Why didn't it keep? Connor, what did you do to my computer? You broke it.
I don't know, but I think this is a bad time to mention. Did you press record?
I did press record.
Woo!
No, Connor, it's the review section that you need to. The first one I always have. The first one is always good. It's the second one.
I'll wait till then.
Yeah. Connor, the last gen Resident Evil games that come to the next gen. Woohoo! Yippee! From Resident Evil Games Twitter, Resident Evil 2, 3, and 7 are coming to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X/S with visual enhancements later this year. Those who currently own these games on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One will be eligible for a digital upgrade at no additional cost. So when we said news was slim pickings this week, this is the big offender, because this is all we could find.
Yeah.
It was this or like Triangle Strategy review lineup or review, roundup, but I was like, why, when we can just review it next week ourselves?
Yeah. I haven't even played it yet.
I started it. A lot of dialogue.
Oh, nice.
A lot of dialogue. That's all I got to say about it. I haven't even gotten to gameplay yet. By the way, we're reviewing Elden Ring in about 10 minutes, so stick around for that.
Hey, 7 needed it the most. That's the best.
I guess.
I mean,
sure, yeah.
Some parts of that game look a little rough, textures and whatnot.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's still gonna look rough. When they say visual enhancements, I'm assuming they just mean like 60 FPS upgrades and stuff like that. Maybe some 4K upscaling, but like, Resident Evil 7 is still gonna look like Resident Evil 7.
But either way, it'll be good.
Cool. Yeah, I'm with it. I love those games.
Yeah, they're all good games.
All three of them. I enjoy them all. So and if they come with new platinums, woo,
Oh God.
woo,
They will. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see it.
Resident Evil 2 is literally a game where I would start from scratch to get that platinum again. And Resident Evil 3 platinum is so easy. I might just back to back them like that. I never got the 7 platinum because collectibles are a bitch.
Yeah.
And I don't like collectibles.
Collectibles are just not a good trophy.
Yeah, and in a game like Resident Evil 7 that doesn't play the best, like it doesn't feel fun to move throughout the world of Resident Evil 7. It's on my list. It's just forever on my list of things that I need to do, but probably will never do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alongside of I don't know, fucking the Crash Bandicoots and the Spyros and the fucking, I don't know, some old Assassin's Creed games or something. I don't know. I keep a list in my phone that every, I don't know, once a year, maybe, I go through and I update and I go, I can take these games off because I got them, and I can put these games on because I played them, and I want to get back to them, but I never do. I never do, Connor.
Well, now you'll get back to these ones if they come out. Unless this is all just not true at all.
Connor,
and then it never comes out.
Connor, does the idea of replaying any of these Resident Evil games on next gen do anything for you, or you're like, nah, I'll just wait for the next one?
I mean, it's gonna be good for some people, but I played the game's graphical improvements. Usually aren't big enough of a reason.
Remember this fight? This fight was great. This fight right here. With
the wall that you had to press. Is that what that is? No.
No, that's the. Inside. This is This is when you had to fucking. This is his last fight. What's his name? Birkin. And it was just a hey, you have all the guns, just fucking unload into him.
Yep.
Good fight. I liked it. Anyways, Connor.
Mm-hmm.
That's it for the news. So we're gonna get into our what we've been playing section, which is an Elden Ring review, ladies and gentlemen. So stick in here with us for just a second while we load that up, and we'll be right back with you. What's poppin', players? Welcome back to a 2-penny Gamescast review. This time for Elden Ring. Now, real quick, we'll go ahead and say it right now. I forgot to record footage for this game, and it's too late to do that, and we need to get this review out. So I pulled a 2.5 hour video from MK Ice and Fire YouTube channel. Had some gameplay set up there, so I've just got that playing right here. So I don't even know what's in this video. If something crazy happens, I'm sorry. I can't. I pulled it up, hit play, and hit record. So here we go.
It's the first couple hours of Elden Ring, so it's gonna have the first couple hours of Elden Ring. Whatever
Connor,
it does.
We've been playing Elden Ring.
How much have you been playing?
I'm about 8 hours in.
8 hours?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. I've not been playing a whole lot. You are where? Where do you think you are?
See. I saw the number beforehand. I am currently 32 hours into Elden Ring. My life this past week has consisted of going to work, working until 2:30, and then coming home and playing that, and then looking at the clock and like, shit, it's late. I gotta go to bed soon, or get dinner, and then I do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, and then for some general context, you're a From Software fan.
Yes.
I'm typically not, but I've always respected From Software and what they're doing in the game space. I toyed around. I've played the intro level to Bloodborne, and then I toyed around with the opening hours of Sekiro.
Didn't bite on Sekiro.
Huh?
Didn't bite on Sekiro. It wasn't.
It almost had.
Almost did.
It almost had me, but then I don't know. I fell off and something else grabbed me, and then I just never wanted to go back.
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead and I'll get my opinions out the way first, since I'm the newbie. I'm the casual. I'm the regular gamer. I've got a lot of mixed feelings about this game, actually, which is weird because I was texting you.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, man, I think this one works. I think this one's clicking with me. And I was very excited.
Took a second, but you said it was clicking.
It was clicking. It was clicking real hard. And then I got past the first real boss fight. And once you get past that first real boss fight, then it turns into a traditional From Software game where it starts really just being a From Software game, which very quickly turned me back off, and I haven't played in a couple of days now. I do intend to play more, but it has now turned into the game that I need to be in the mood for, and I'm just not in the mood for it.
Yeah. After that first big boss fight, you go into the traditional dungeon, which are dotted throughout the entire game.
Yeah.
It's where you get to the other big bosses.
Yeah, I don't like that dungeon.
Which is funny because the attitude I've seen from Software fans has been, this is a great Dark Souls dungeon. It's amazing. I thought it was good, but Yeah, people seem to like it.
This is that castle, right? Yes, that we're talking about. That
Stormvale Castle.
Yeah, I hate it. Everything before that was great. And here, let me say my piece with this. I do like this game. I think it's worth all the praise it's getting. And I think for From Software fans, I think they've got something really, really special on their hands with this one. Something where like people liked Sekiro, but it seemed like fans were like, they were like, oh, it's really good. It's From Software, so you're gonna get quality, and it is of quality. But they didn't like seem to be in love with it like they were with some of the other Dark Souls games and with Bloodborne specifically.
Yeah, I was the same way as well.
And I think this one is gonna be right up everybody's alley in that sense, but. Where this game is getting a lot of praise is its exploration and its open world and its wonder as you explore that open world, and all of that is true. It's the same praises happened with Breath of the Wild, which I thought were moderately true, but were overblown a little bit. I didn't think Breath of the Wild's world was that captivating. Elden Ring's world is that captivating. I am constantly going, wait, what's over this hill?
Yeah.
Can I get what's going on over there? I see a structure over in the distance. There's probably something cool there. Oh, there is something cool here. That's fantastic. Oh, hey man, there's a cave in here. I wonder if I can get something out of getting this cave. Oh my god, it's a boss fight. Oh my god, it's a hard boss. Oh my god, okay, I beat it in just a few tries. Man, I feel good.
Yeah.
And then you do get to like the real boss fights, which they separate. I don't know if this is like a thing with like when you beat a boss, it says like enemy failed or great enemy failed. Great enemies are clearly the ones that are like actually worth remembering.
Yeah. I mean, some of the regular enemies are just sometimes different enemies that already exist in the world as normal ones, or maybe special ones, like pumpkin heads. They have I've been entered one boss area and there's two of them and they're bigger and they hit harder, but they're the same kind of enemy.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Anyways, I think of like, oh man, there's some like weird ruins over there. What do I go? Oh my god, there's like these like weird like flower things that are trying to beat me up and like poison me. This is, oh my god, there's a giant flower that shoots evil beams from the sky. And I'm like, oh wait, there's like a little staircase here. Oh, it goes down. It's like a little dungeon. What's it? Oh, it's a boss fight. Oh, this is how I unlock a magic merchant after I fight this boss. Like, and it's stuff like that that constantly makes me go, wow, this is cool. Like, I'm looking up. Like, I didn't understand how the magic system worked in this game, and I'm, like, Googling trying to figure that out. Like, and I'm not upset that the game isn't telling me these things, which I think is, something to be praised of just the design level of, like, it's obtuse, it's not very clear, but at the same time, it feels inviting. Like, you want to learn the systems and the mechanics as you play the game. It's just that once you get past that first fight and it turns into a more traditional From Software game that I go, fuck! Like, god damn it, we were so close. If I could just stay in this open world and not be on this narrow path that you've designed that is expertly designed. But it's frustrating to me that I have to keep replaying and fighting the same dozen enemies because there's no way around them and I can't have them chase me through the whole dungeon and then I have to get back to the one enemy who keeps kicking my ass. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, fucking, and I understand like grinding is a little bit of it and going out and farming for points and stuff. I don't want to do that. But I thought the open world was going to sort of counter that, where it'd be like, oh yeah, sure, go grind, go farm, whatever, but do it in the open world where you're gonna trip over something cool every 30 seconds, and you really do trip over something cool every 30 seconds, which is dope. It's just when they focus things up, is where things get annoying to me in the classic From Software casual annoyance ways.
If it makes you feel better, a lot, from my experience of the 32 hours I put in, I've spent way more time exploring and going out in the open world and finding out all these interesting secrets than I have spending time in the dungeons. So at the end of the day, it seems like at least you're getting more of the experience that you overall would crave more.
So just push my way through is what you're telling me.
Maybe just thankfully, it's the setup, especially of the first dungeon. I don't know how it goes later on because I only just now got to the second dungeon. It's set up in a way that's very
30 hours later.
Yeah, because I chose to. I was because I was so caught up in exploring.
But that's what I want to do. I want to go out and explore. Well, I don't care about this main quest thing that's happening.
Well, I kept like seeing, because what I like to do, because this speaks to the exploration of the game, is when I get the map for the area that I'm exploring, because originally when you first go into a new region, There's just no, it doesn't tell you what landmarks. You don't see any specific like areas on the map because it's all just, blanked out. Obviously, whenever you reach some kind of special area or a site of grace, it'll have an emblem there, but that's it. So you have to find the map to the rest of the area so you know exactly what's there. When I get those maps, I just zoom in and I see structures just outlined on the map. And I say, okay, that's where I'm going to go. Most of the time, I go there and there's something there. Sometimes there's an entire little side area.
100%.
Sometimes there's a dungeon. Sometimes there's just items.
Yeah.
There's always something interesting just from doing that.
Yeah.
There's no question marks also to tell you that it's there. So it's just like,
and
you gotta find out what's
you can
where.
always, there's a story to tell from there where you're like, I was on the run from this guard encampment. There was a dozen of them, and I ran and was seeking shelter in a cave that they refused to enter. But then that cave led to a boss fight, and that, and the third, and that gave me this item for doing this. And it's stuff like that this game really, truly does excel at.
Yeah, it does.
And I struggle to point at anything to where I say it doesn't excel at this. Its menus suck. I don't like the menus, but I've never liked From Software's menus. So I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I think
that's a shield for many speedrunners who have to just like they have to navigate that and know exactly where everything is. So it is difficult to use. I've grown fond of it over the years. I didn't objectively really exactly hate it when I first experienced it from my first Dark Souls games. But yeah, I can understand how it's not the most welcoming.
It reminds me of like Witcher 2 level, like, and that was not a good menu system. Like it's like, ugh, like we've gotten past this, guys. Like people know how to make menus. Like, come on now. But yeah, I mean, and the game's quite, like, even my mom walked into the room and was like, hey man, that's pretty. And I was like, you know what, it is kind of pretty. Like, especially for like an open world game, the level of fidelity that's in there. Now granted, you can see where some shortcuts were taken. Like I looked off into the distance and there was a herd of enemies convoying across a road, and they, when they got further, it turned less into them walking and more of them just kind of like sort of like just kind of almost like glitching across the screen, it looked like. And I was like, okay, not quite, not quite at 100%, yeah, when I was a little, but not that far, and then I'm dealing with quite a bit of pop-in and stuff like that. But like, I mean, it runs better than like even Horizon Forbidden West is running right now, which is shocking because Forbidden West is a first-party studio that with all the PlayStation tech on the PlayStation console, and this one, which was built for, I guess, really PlayStation, because it sounds like the PC build of the game isn't that strong either.
No, it had a lot of issues. Some people were fine with it, but a lot of people were having some kind of issue. Thankfully, we're not, because we're both playing on PlayStation 5.
Yeah. Are you I just saw Home Dude fall and take some fall damage. Have you taken fall damage? Have you died from fall?
Oh, yeah. In the open world, I go on Torrent, the horse that you have.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is a great way to get around the
map.
Oh,
it's fantastic.
With the double jump, it's being able to run fast.
Yeah. And then the wind turbine things that get you up real high real fast. Yeah.
It's a good way for traversal to work. But during those moments, since you can double jump, my entire idea was, okay, I can jump off a ledge that would kill me, so all I have to do is jump off of it, double jump, and then I'm safe.
Yeah.
Sometimes I double jump, and it's like, okay, I'm still a little bit farther from the ground, so I'm going to take damage, but I should be able to live, and then I die.
You need to wait.
Yeah.
You need to wait longer.
Yeah, wait long. I know.
You're too nervous.
Sometimes it's like, oh, and then it gets to the point where like, okay, timing sometimes just kills me. So I have died in those situations a couple times from fall damage.
As you know, I'm a bit. Usually, my play style, I lean more towards like the stealth / maybe like some magic routes. So like, I started out as a bandit.
Yeah.
Which sure, I was going in. I was like, okay, I'm not going to output the most amount of damage. I can't take the most amount of damage. That's fine. I'll counter that with stealth. And yeah, when you're crouched, you're damn near invisible in this game.
Oh yeah, you avoid a lot.
But my problem is that it does that thing where like it's not clear, and it's a hard thing to do with stealth games where like either like you assign it to a button in an instance and it's contextual and it's only like when the game tells you can do it, like how like Horizon and Ghost of Tsushima do it, where like you have to like stand up and then it'll prompt you and be like, hey, stealth attack this character, that it'll work. Otherwise you're just throwing out a normal hit. In this game, it is not clear when that moment happens. One, because they don't prompt you, and two, like sometimes if they're like, where the fuck is he?
He beat the first boss in that area where you're supposed to die. So he's in an area I don't even know.
Wait, I thought he died to that guy.
I guess not.
I thought I saw him die.
Unless he jumped somewhere else, and this is also another area.
I think he's just gone somewhere else, Connor. This guy's crazy.
Anyways,
anyways,
playing, I guess.
Yeah,
he
literally.
found that.
But like that's what's cool about this game is I look over and I'm like, wait, what the fuck is that? And I want to go there. What's happening over there? Like it's all cool stuff like that. But yeah, the stealth is stiff and rigid, and frankly was done better in Sekiro. But functional enough to where a player like me can do what I need to do to get where I need to get. Obviously, once a boss fight starts, it's just down to understanding of the mechanics, which oddly enough, maybe this is just the way it's always been, and it probably has always been this way, but as someone who's never really played a lot of From Software games, the mechanics are very simple.
Yeah.
There's not a lot deep about this game. It is really just roll, attack, roll, attack, roll, attack. Like, watch for... Like, the most complicated thing is the boss itself, because you just have to learn the boss's behaviors and attack patterns and stuff like that.
It's where the meme comes up, where it's like, when your drunken father comes home and you're able to read his attack patterns finally.
That was funny. That was funny. But yeah, it is 100% just, what you're doing isn't changing, but just the timing and the placement of when you're doing it does. Which I think works for the most part. I'm nervous about it getting boring for me.
Yeah. Thankfully, one of the things that was introduced into Dark Souls 3 that's present in this game are weapon arts. Now, Dark Souls 3, it could spice up gameplay from time to time, especially certain weapon arts, but you couldn't customize it, and a lot of the times they weren't all that great. So generally what people did was just not use them. And they go back to the general way that Dark Souls is played, as you just said, rolling around and hitting things. So in this one, the weapon arts really, at least as far as melee is concerned, I'm not doing a magic build, so I don't know exactly. I'm doing like some faith spells as well, but I'm not primarily doing that kind of stuff. So
I gotta find myself a scroll. I need to find a scroll.
Yeah, you gotta find your scroll.
Yeah, that was like one of those things where it was like, hey, you can't do this spell because these stats aren't high enough. And then I got those stats high enough, and I was like, I still can't do the spell. Why? And I was like, oh, this is what I was talking about with the Googling. And I was like, oh, I need to find a scroll. Okay, let me find a scroll.
Yeah, what was my original point?
Build weapon arts.
Oh yeah, weapon arts. Thankfully, from my melee build perspective, the weapons arts in these games really spice up gameplay. You have a wide array of them to choose from. I've unlocked tons of them, more than I expected to have. Not all of them for the weapons that I use, because sometimes, it'll only be pole arms, or sometimes it'll only be, slashing swords or something like that, or exceptions for colossal swords. But there's so many different ones to choose from. Yep, some of them are good. Some of them are just charge right into people, do tons of damage. I don't know where this is. This might be the tutorial mission that it was missable by a lot of people, like me.
Oh, clearly both of us. I have no idea where he is.
Yeah, I missed it too. I think it's near the beginning of the game after you die, which makes sense why you thought you saw him die.
I definitely, I saw. Well, I remember looking over and he was fighting the spider thing or whatever the fuck that kills you. And I remember looking over and I'd be like, I don't understand how he died there. He looked like he was out of range of whatever he was doing, but he died anyway. And I was like, oh wait, no, yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, because this is that entrance. Yeah, most people, I guess, just go straight up those stairs.
Huh.
Weird. Look at us learning new things.
I'll go back and do that. It seems like you get an emote from it.
I'm not doing shit.
I'll one-hit everything in that mission.
Probably.
Still do it.
Yeah, I'd probably be fucking things up, too, even with my limited, shit that I've got going on.
Yeah, you probably would. But weapon arts is a way that I think this game has really freshened things up because they're so fun and because they're so customizable. You have to get an item to customize them, I believe. I got it pretty... I think it's in Stormvale Castle, just to give you a little heads up.
Ooh, there's items in there? No way. Is it in that room with the fucking Black Knight who has, wind powers? Because he's the one who's fucking me up and making me mad.
I think it's behind one of those mist walls that you can unlock with stone sword keys. Okay. I'm pretty sure. That's... No, it's probably not that. I don't even know. Anyway,
we should play co-op someday.
Yeah, it's fun.
You would probably just roast everything in my world or whatever.
Sure, but I can limit myself. I can do some kind of regular
Let me use my shitty sword. Let me use my shitty sword for you, Tavin.
Easy. Put on armor, not use a shield, so I can't block.
Not use a shield.
That'll do a lot. We'll be on closer levels at that point.
Oh, that's fucking funny. 32 hours, damn.
30 hours. People are playing this game for 60 hours and saying, I'm not done yet. Of course, some people are done. It just depends on how much.
I've seen people go 90 hours and say, I'm still here. I don't know. I'm still exploring things and having fun.
You can take the game at your own pace, thankfully, once you know the locations you need to go to. Because, exploration in this game is very important to level up.
Did you find the boss that only comes up out at night?
Which one's that?
I haven't seen him. Someone left a message and said, "Hey, if you come here at nighttime, a boss shows up." And I said, "You know what? I'm cool. I don't want that."
I did that for an enemy. Is it a horse enemy? If you know
No, different enemy. Because you can even see him in the background there. That guy fucked me up too.
Yeah,
the Tree Knight or whatever the fuck his name
is.
Mm-hmm. Tree Sentinel. Yeah, he's an asshole.
Yeah, people have been having difficulty with that guy. He's easy when I came back to him, but yeah, for a Souls game to give an enemy like that right out the gate, yeah,
it's fucked up.
Pretty damn difficult.
It's fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
But it's clear he's not as tough as Margit, who's like the first real boss fight of the game, and Margit was tough.
Yeah.
I ended up using. I guess is this spoilers? Do people care?
No,
I don't know.
I mean,
I ended up using my own the jellyfish summon that you get, and I despite my best efforts, I did employ the Roger summon. It's like a little like yellow, like outside of boss fights, like you can like bring in like an extra summon.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Roger is the one for Margit, and like he's just like this little sorcerer who is just really just kind of just there to distract him while I did all the real damage.
Yeah,
you know.
Sorcery in this game, I've seen like the next boss you're gonna face, somebody one-shotted them with one spell because magic can be bullshit, and this is I don't know.
Did I pick the wrong class, Connor? Should I have gone the magic route?
Once you know how to do magic, it's easy. I'll tell you that much. It is not difficult.
I was always told the magic routes were not the best in From Software games. So.
I admittedly also say they would say they're not the best for your first time around because it does make some fights pretty boring. You know. Spells are usually ranged. This one, granted, it seems like magic is a lot better. So, for example, I know there's a great sword that scales and is required intelligence to use as opposed to strength. So now, it didn't really happen in past games. Usually you would have to do a lot of strength and intelligence. But in this one, it seems to be a lot more forgiving to just magic users to give them varieties of how to play.
Do you know what level you are right now?
No, I never focus on levels in Elden Ring. Why? Do you know what you're at?
I think I'm at like 14 or something, like 15, 16, something like that. I don't know. So I'm in the teens somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
The upgrades are getting expensive fast.
They do.
Notice that. But granted, like once you do like a real boss fight, they just hand you tons of experience or runes is what they call them.
They still seem to give you a lot less than they have in past Souls games.
Yeah.
It makes sense because of the open world that allows you to.
Yeah, I mean you're getting XP from everywhere. Like you just play around for a little bit. You're gonna earn at least one quick upgrade or something. It's just when they started at 200 and now I'm pressing up on 3,000 per upgrade, and I'm only at level 15 or whatever the fuck I'm at. Like it goes up fast.
Yeah, and I'm at the point where it's like I think the amount that's required to level up is like 10,000 runes, but it's easy for me to look at it and say, oh, I have 6,000 now.
Yeah.
It umps it up as the game goes on.
Yeah, you're just playing and you go, oh fuck, I'm almost there.
Yeah,
let me just get there.
Even thought for a second I was going to be too overpowered for too long because I was just defeating every enemy in my way without much resistance.
Then you got to a boss fight.
Funny enough, an enemy. And I was like, normal enemy. I was like, okay, like I'm just going to beat this guy, not going to be big. And then they kill me. I'm like, okay, maybe I should start leveling up.
You said, okay, hold on.
Got cocky.
God. There's just the sense of wonder that you get when you play with this game, man. It's unmatched. Like, I truly believe, like, this is what people were, like, when people were talking about Breath of the Wild's world and exploring the world of Breath of, like, must have been what they were talking about. Because, like, I didn't feel that when playing Breath of the Wild. I feel it here, where I'm always like, what's over here? What's that? Oh, there's a little woodland creature. Can I hunt it down? Oh, there's, like, a little encampment over here. I want to go explore and see what's that. Oh, fuck, man, there's a chest. Oh, man, I got a sword out of this chest? Yeah. This is cool.
And thankfully, the variety is off the level, on a different level compared to past Souls games. Souls games always had a variety in enemies. They had a variety in regions, but this is taking it up another notch, which really does add to that.
You're constantly coming across something new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Still, me 32 hours in, still doing that. I've seen people go 60 hours and say the same exact thing. It's a very packed world that doesn't feel overwhelming. It seems because I can pretty much go and do whatever I want when I want. It's like, okay, if I'm going to skip this area and go on to the next dungeon, I can do that. A lot of freedom here, and it's just...
I think that a lot of that has to do with just how minimal the UI is. Like, especially like when you, like you said, when you open the map, there's nothing on the map, like in terms of icons or question marks or anything like that. Compare that with Horizon Forbidden West, which came out just the week before this, and it's literally like I open that map and 30 things come up on my screen, and I go, fuck, I don't fucking care. I don't fucking fuck it. Let me do the main mission, which I'm a side quest guy. I do all the side quests.
So do I, yeah.
But when games like Horizon or Far Cry just put a bajillion things on my map, I look there and I go, how much of that do I really need to care about? And then, you end up missing things that are cool and you do care about or whatever like that. Just because it's unclear if any of it's any good. Here, where they go the absolute opposite way, where you're like, yeah, I mean, it's a map, and there are things on the map, and when you find the map, like, for the region you're in, and it fills out some of those details, and you can start, like, pointing your direction and where you're going to go, where you see a structure on the map, and you go, okay, let me go over there, or something like that. But, like, it's 1,000%, like, you could play this game and never open the map. You know, and you wouldn't be considered crazy for doing that. Like, it would just be like, oh, you're just running around doing whatever you want, just kind of exploring. Okay, yeah,
you run into a boss or a dungeon or enemies or items, and then you run into them.
You know, the sites of grace, which are like the
bonfires.
The bonfires, where, like, that's where you go to, like, refill your health and get your health potions back and get your spend XP points. But, like, also when you rest at a site of grace, all the enemies respawn, classic stuff like that. They litter the open world. They're everywhere. Yeah. Like, it's literally like, if you're lost and you don't know where you are, I don't know, pick a direction, walk for 5 minutes, you're probably going to find one.
Yeah.
You know, which is great. It adds to this level of accessibility that I've never felt before in these games, where it's just like, yeah, man, I mean, yeah, I'm stuck here, but, you know, I can always, because it's an open world, I can always be like, fuck it, I'm just going to leave for 2 hours and come back when I'm a little higher level. I'm going to go explore and do something cool over here. Yeah. Because there is always something cool over wherever, you know, which is great.
I hate to bring up Breath of the Wild every single time that we're talking about the exploration of this game, but Breath of the Wild, one of the problems it did have in that regard was the main method of getting around was to transport to one of the towers that served as fast travel points,
yeah,
which was nice to jump off of it and see the nice views. I love doing that and getting
do the gliding or something.
Yeah, it was nice, but then once you were done gliding, you're like, okay, I still have
now I gotta walk.
A lot of way to go. Yeah,
now I gotta walk.
Couldn't call your horse whenever you wanted to. You'd have to, you know, be at a stable, go to a stable and get him, or if he's not nearby.
And people think that's one of the greatest games ever fucking made.
It's pretty great. It's a pretty great game.
It's just like, it's a good game. It's a good game. It's a good game. Anyways, but we're not talking. But, like, I mean, directly compare that with here. There's fast travel points everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. I don't want to walk 5 minutes, Connor. And you know what? I don't have to in this game.
Nope.
Which is a crazy thing to say about a From Software game. Or it's like, okay, I do want to walk for 5 minutes because I don't know what's beyond the yonder, you know, so forth. Fuck it. Call my horse right there. It's not even a waiting, like in every other open world game where you have to wait for your mount to run up behind you because it spawned behind you. No, fuck it. You spawn on top of it.
Yeah.
Like, they just bring it up and you're on it.
Mm-hmm. Which is nice because when you're running away from enemies, you can just be running and you'll still in the run animation call your horse and
then just be there and gone. And boom, you're gone. Like, it's so good and it's so nice. Like, I really, really, really do love that. And then the flasks where you have you either, you know, you restore some health or you restore some FP or mana, your magic points or whatever. Being able to balance those out and being like, hey, I have a set number of them, sure, but if I have a maximum of 5, I can do 3 health potions, 2 magic potions. I can do 5 health potions, 0 magic potions. It just depends on how you want to do it. I think that's inspired. Is that a thing that's always been there? Because it's fucking awesome. Or is that an Elden Ring thing?
It's more of an Elden Ring thing.
It's fucking awesome. Every game should do that. You know, instead of littering my inventory with a bunch of potions that I'll never use, a la Skyrim, you know, it's just, here's the 6 things you need.
Yeah.
That's all you need. You know, and you don't need stamina things because just stop for half a second and your character will catch their breath immediately.
Yeah, it's one of those things you only use every now and then. And even though the system isn't as special, the inventory crafting, it does kind of help you do certain things. Like if an enemy is weak to certain fire attacks, you can just usually craft the item if you have the ability to do so. And there you go, you have a fire weapon. And that's where it usually just ends. Those situational uses where you need to have that system in effect.
Well, what's also crazy is, like, if you get to an area and it's beating your ass and you don't quite know what you're missing, like you don't quite get it, the social aspect and the multiplayer aspects of this game of players leaving messages on the ground everywhere, like, they'll be like, hey, try fire. And literally, I went 3 hours of reading messages of people saying, try fire, not knowing that if I had gone back to that first real merchant that you find and pick up the item crafting kit, that, like, you can then get fire bombs and stuff like that. And I was like, why do they keep telling me to try fire? I haven't seen anything fire anything. And then, but if things start happening that way, it usually means go back, go look around, go find something that you might need somewhere, or that, and the third. And I'm like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah, they're very vague in Souls games.
Very vague.
What exactly you can do. that's one of the things I like about Souls games. For people that don't like those aspects, well, those message systems, that's when they really start coming in handy, because then you can have some kind of direction that the game itself is not giving you.
I do wish the game was better at tutorialization. Like, and I don't mean in its vague From Software ways. I mean in the ways of like when you unlock weapon arts. I'm not kidding. It throws 3 different walls of text at you explaining what weapons are, weapon arts are, and you have to read all of that, like remember every element of it, and then you click X, and it'll never tell you ever again. Into which it may be another 3 hours plus hours of gameplay where I never touch a weapon art ever. Just because I never found any new ones or whatever. So when I do find them, I'm going to fucking forget how to do it. And I'm using weapon arts as an example. Clearly that one's an easier one to understand. But like, I don't know, like different magics or different, this, that, and the third system. Like, I wish there was a better way to where they could put more hands-on experience with its tutorialization than just, hey, here's a concept that we have to explain because we know it's obtuse. So here's a wall of text. That doesn't work. With these goddamn ads, man.
Yeah, lots of
ads. I gotta get YouTube Premium or some shit when I do this next time. But oh no, it's the double ad. Anyways.
Oh. Yeah. I had a point to make.
Tutorialization, walls of text.
Yeah. I find it more amusing than anything else. Obviously, I don't blame anybody for being upset about it. Because I've grown used to this.
I mean, that's a thing in games in general. Like don't throw a wall of text at me like Deathloop has the same issue where it's just walls upon walls of text for tutorialization. Don't do that. Just make me do it. You know, and like have it like singled out like Naughty Dog games do it fairly well where they're like, hey, we want to teach you this mechanic, so you're going to use this mechanic in this instance right now. Yeah. As opposed to like, hey, I picked up a thing. Okay, that thing's not going to be used for 10 hours. So here's a wall of text describing that thing. You better hope you remember.
Yeah. The issue that I had in that regard, I think the only time I did was with reloading crossbows. I didn't know how to do it, and I also not reloading crossbows, switching crossbow bolts, like using different types of it. I was like, and I found out eventually it's light attack and heavy attack. That's what it's tied to. So because you have 2 equipped at any given time, which is nice, but I had missed that because I'd seen the text pop up and I pressed something and it was like, that's it.
While we're on that, weird control scheme in this game, very strange. It gets the basics right for me, where it's like circle is evade, right bumper, right trigger, those are your attacks. L2 and L1 do stuff like that.
Your left hand stuff.
Do your left hand stuff as well. All that makes sense to me. X is your jump button. All that makes sense. Yeah. Why is sprint hold circle? Why is to get off the horse click in the left stick?
I don't know. Those are the jump thing. I mean, not the jump thing. The running thing. Yeah, that's been there forever.
That one doesn't bother me much. Getting off the horse by clicking in the right stick, which is your crouch button. Why am I crouching to get off the horse?
I defined that out recently.
Yeah, that's a weird button.
You don't crouch when you get off it though.
You don't. Yeah. No, it's treated as levels of elevation.
Yeah.
So they're saying, hey, click in stick to go down is what the mindset is. So you click in stick to get down off the horse, which is weird.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
It took a second to find that out.
And then I like the hotkeying with the whole triangle, and then that opens up different types of things, but I don't know if that's the best way to go about it.
Yeah.
But I don't have a better solution. So
the thing about that, I same kind of thing before. I've forgotten the thought that I had about it when I first was trying to get used to the control, because I've become so acclimated to it now. But I remember I was like, I understood why they did the triangle thing the way they did, because in past games, triangle was something. This has replaced all my like specific knowledge like that.
Wasn't triangle heal?
No, it was always square.
Square was always heal. Okay.
Well, square is always item use.
Item use item. Yeah,
whatever is attached to it at the time. Triangle was something.
Also, I like the emotes.
Yeah.
I don't like how they're used with the dual sense with the moving the controller around the 6-axis motion.
Yes.
Weird.
That led to me having certain interactions where I would do an emote when I wasn't doing an emote, and it was during a fight, and then I would get screwed.
How did you do that?
I don't know. I kept doing it over and over again. I don't know. I really don't know.
You got a lot of movement in your hands when you're fighting these boss fights, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. Thankfully,
you're out here trying to cast spells, and you end up accidentally pointing.
You can turn it off though. which I found out.
Okay,
I was
really?
like, thank you, I can turn that off. But yeah, usually when it comes to emotes, I do it the longer way, which is to not have it hotkeyed to anything and
You just go to the menu.
go to the emote menu and do it that way. Yeah, maybe a little bit ineffective, but I like the boss designs so far that have occurred. The open world bosses a lot more easier, consistently easier and simpler.
Yeah.
But that's because they're trying to pack a lot of bosses into all of these different dungeons.
Yeah.
To try and keep the whole, Soulsborne.
They're trying to make it feel as alive as this desolate world can feel.
Yeah, and that could lead to some bosses being a hit or miss.
Yeah.
Like recently, I got one that was great. Another time, not so much. Recently. Yeah. But the main bosses overall, first of all, they're extremely difficult. Like Margit, I was surprised at how hard he was.
Margit's hard.
Because he's one of the first bosses you fight. And usually, the first bosses you fight can be kind of... They can be difficult, but at least it's something that newer players like myself as well to this game can wrap my mind around.
A little more simple.
Yeah, a little bit more simple. Not these bosses.
Margit will fuck you up.
Yeah.
That second phase was some bullshit.
Got those faith weapons.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Fuck me up. Is there a way to parry projectiles?
No, definitely not.
Man, that would have been nice. Especially against Margit.
Oh, yeah. Maybe there's a deflecting thing somewhere, but I'm not familiar with it.
Also, I don't know if this might be a spoiler. I don't know. Because from Software, it's not like narrative things you spoil. It's like encounters and mechanics and things like that. But like, so this might be like a slight spoiler. Margit, like, you couldn't parry. Like, you had to parry him multiple times in a row to actually get an opening to do a critical damage hit on, which I thought was strange, but also kind of cool at the same time.
I think the reason why they did that is, I think I had mentioned to you before, because I was watching you when you started trying to parry more often. Mm-hmm. There's a boss in Dark Souls 3 that becomes just one of the easiest bosses in the entire Soulsborne series, if you know how to parry.
Yeah.
It can defeat some bosses. So I think their idea was to try and prevent that from just being done.
Which is funny, because, like, you see the parry, and it's an animation of thing. Yeah. And I immediately started asking you, because you taught me how to parry. And I was like, oh, okay, wait. So, like, is it based off of, like, the animation of when I did? And you were like, honestly, dude, I kind of just feel it out. And that's been my strategy now. It's just, I don't know. I just kind of feel it out. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah, there's a way. There is a point. I remember seeing a video.
I know there is. And I'm sure if I really wanted to sit there and learn, I could. But, like, you can feel it out and parry, I don't know, 70% of the time.
Yeah.
If you hone it in,
Yeah.
So it's like, that's good enough.
Oh,
you got scared. You thought he was going to jump off that cliff? I think I did something similar, and you got just as scared in that same area. So, anyways. Anything else you want to say about Elden Ring, Connor?
Let's see. I touched on the battle arc.
Is this the new pack leader? Is this the new great from Soft? Is this the best? Is this the best one?
It kind of is. Yeah.
You think so?
It's got a lot of what made the Souls games good in the past.
Yeah.
And with a lot less of the negatives. Like, so for example, Dark Souls 1. I'm talking in reference to the bosses. After a while, there's like the midway point in the game, the bosses become a lot less fun to fight, and they become a lot more boring.
Okay.
This game kind of, due to the exploration and finding all these different bosses in different areas, and making the main bosses more difficult, makes me not really feel that issue anymore. Whereas some Dark Souls games would do that. Dark Souls 2 notoriously came out too quickly, and some of the bosses are just not well designed at all. So,
oh wow.
Yeah. So thankfully, the main bosses of this game are designed very well. Like I said earlier,
I mean, the fandom always talks about Bloodborne being the pinnacle.
Yeah. Bloodborne definitely always had consistently just great bosses.
Yeah.
Every single time. I think I haven't played the main bosses yet, and like I said, a lot of the minor bosses are kind of used at certain points, and they don't have as much design put behind them. So I can't really speak to the level of quality on the bosses yet. But from the two big ones that I fought, I think there are two.
30 hours, only two real fights.
Two big ones. Two big ones.
Fuck, this world is big.
It's very big, which I enjoy. Like I said before, I'm trying to think what I haven't talked on before. It's kind of hard to. It does play very similar to Dark Souls 3 in terms of just the gameplay. Obviously, they include the weapon arts that shake it up a lot more. Some of them are a little bit overpowered right now. Like, for example, I have something called the Blood Slash. Ridiculously overpowered. In fact, I know one boss later on, it can just easily destroy him without much effort. Thankfully, I know how Souls games work, and usually those kinds of things end up getting nerfed, sometimes a little bit too much. So, whether that's a criticism or not, I can't really tell you right now, especially because it's something that I could use as I see fit, weapon arts and such, but I can't really think of anything else that I...
Okay.
The exploration is the big part of this game that really blows my mind. As far as Souls games go.
And it's so good it blows my mind. You know, as someone who's not a big fan of these games, and I don't know how much more mileage this one's gonna get out of me.
Sure,
it could be another 30-40 hours. It could be 2. In anywhere in between. You know, it just all kind of depends. It's definitely gonna I'm gonna play it until I get bored with the mechanics, and then I'm going to stop because it's just there's some kind of narrative or something happening in the background. I've always said these From Software games, they don't have plots, they have lore.
They have lore that ties itself into a plot that you are the central character of. It's the issue is that it's very hard to find it because some simple item descriptions will let you find out certain aspects of the plot. And some of these item descriptions can be key items. Sometimes they're not. And those items that would add depth to the story, as I would consider it.
And see, that's the thing. That's the thing that From Software fans praise about this game. They're like, "Oh, you have to work for the story," and I'm like, "No, that's not how storytelling works.
You have to read for the story.
That's not how storytelling works."
Have you ever read a book, Tavin? You read books.
A storyteller tells you the story. They don't. Yeah, that same comparison, Connor. Let me tear this book up, hide it all around your neighborhood, and then, also some of those pages are from different books that don't matter.
Know what you're telling me right now, Tavin?
Yeah.
You're telling me that I gotta work to read my book. It sounds pretty damn similar. This is just a book that you have to work hard to read. You have to find out where the pages are.
That's not good!
And sometimes pages aren't there. And sometimes, the storyteller thing, the storyteller in this story, and like all other Souls games, is probably dead at this point. So then, there's no story to tell anymore. You gotta find it out yourself. You gotta be the story. That's what you're doing here.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for our 2-penny Gamescast review for Elden Ring. Connor, you like the game?
I do like the game.
I also like the game.
I'll continue to play it. Definitely.
I will definitely load it up at least one more time. From there, we'll see.
Well, you gotta play Triangle Story.
I'm playing Triangle Strategy. That's what it's called. Yeah, I'm playing that this week. We'll have a review next week for that. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for our 2-penny Gamescast review and the end of the 2-penny Gamescast episode 84. Remember, you can catch us every Monday, 8 a.m. Central Time, youtube.com/2pennygamescast, or mainstream podcast services of your choice. Please like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Share it with a friend. It really does help, and we really do appreciate it. Until next time, have a great time. And Connor, say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye.